All right. I'm in between meetings right now, but I thought I'd just record this little video. Okay, so if you're running a media buying agency and you're stuck under the 30K to 50K per month, your problem is not lead generation. I will tell you that for sure. It is not lead generation because if you're running a media buying agency, then that means at most, right? At most, you can charge 5K per month on Meta Ads campaign management. At most. Most brands can't even afford that, right? So you're probably charging, let's just say around 2K per month just for media buying. And let's say you're at most 50K per month. So then that means you need about 25 clients to fulfill that. Let's say some are more, some are less, probably even more than 25 clients, right? Can you already see where I'm getting at? Like, genuinely speaking. Because at 25 clients, at 25 reports, let's say you do an intraday update if you're a good, so beginning of day update, intraday update, so that's in the middle of the day, and then an end of day update, right? If you want to keep all of them. You need to do that 75 times throughout one day for 50K a month. That is insane, right? So your problem isn't necessarily getting more leads, it's what you're selling. Because right now you're probably telling prospects something like, hey, we'll manage your meta ads, we'll optimize your campaigns, we'll send weekly reports and help you improve ROAS, yada, yada, yada. Congratulations. You sound like exactly like every other media buyer on earth because every agency right now is offering the same thing. They've all been suckered into the Iman Gadzhi, SMMA course, the Tai Lopez 60 steps to whatever. So the clients are really comparing you based on price and maybe by ROAS too, because they're looking at you, which is a freelancer charging 1,500 to 2K per month, and some guy overseas is promising a 12x ROAS by Thursday. How hard is that to combat? Obviously, you might do better, but I just don't think that's a category you want to compete in. Media buying alone gives you almost no control, and I'm saying this from a place of having spent well over $100 million in ad spend across several and hundreds of accounts. Not several, but hundreds of accounts, right? The worst part about selling media buying by itself is that you are responsible for the result, but you don't control most of the things producing it. So, what do I mean by that, right? I have this saying that I say to all of my clients and all my team, the success of media buying or the success of Facebook ads happens outside of Facebook ads because the Facebook ads is comprised of what? Creative and a landing page. It's not comprised of where you're buying the media or what you're doing, the algo, whatever. Those work 100%, but you still need a creative and a landing page. So you can really control 1/3 of the equation, but you get judged for the whole equation, right? And that's not fair. So the client gives you 3 mediocre ads, a landing page built back in 2022, an offer nobody wants, so like a 15% if you subscribe. Like no one wants that, right? And a website that loads very slow. Then 2 weeks later, then they're asking you, why isn't Meta working? And now you're inside Ads Manager, you're moving budgets around, you're doing the, virgin marketer scaling thingy mabobber, right? As if you're trying to defuse a bomb, not trying to cut the right wire. But in all reality, it's just the campaign. It's not the campaign structure, it's the creative, right? That's not getting attention. It's the landing page not converting. It's the offer that's not compelling. So you're essentially rearranging furniture inside a burning house, and the client is paying you to move the couch faster. That does not make sense. The biggest shift that helped me scale my agency from struggling at 10 to 20K a month to 100K per month is literally selling the whole solution. But before I sold the whole solution, I learned how to do the solution. That's key. But I reframed the offer as a growth acquisition system. I took pages and pages out of the Hormozi system, right? $100 million offers. I call it like our $100 million growth system. Now I just call it like the Delbondo system. But essentially, we offer 3 parts to it. A hook and hold creative system, so that's the creatives. A conversion optimized funnel, that's the landing pages. And then profit first media buying. Again, 1/3 of the equation, the media buying part, right? It's on delbondo.com. You can look at it. But essentially, the creative captures and holds the attention. The LP converts that attention, and the media buying distributes the message profitably. So when a campaign underperforms, we know exactly where to go because we own everything, right? Because if nobody clicks, we fix the creative. If people click but don't buy, we fix the landing page or the offer. If both are working and be it the economics aren't there, we fix the media buying strategy, which is a profit first media buying strategy. So we get to control more of the variables responsible for the results. And this fundamentally in itself makes the agency so much easier to sell, like the offer to brands and clients. Once you get past a little bit of like the 8 to 9 figure like ideal client persona and profiles that start changing, but the biggest total addressable market are the brands, doing multi 6 figs a year to the high 7 figure per year brands. They want to consolidate, they want to scream at one person or maybe a team under one roof, and they don't want to hear the pointing and saying, oh, but the media buying is doing this, oh, but the creative's doing this, oh, but the landing page is doing this. So you just need to think about these offers, right? And if you compare the two of offer one, we will manage your meta ads. And then you have your offer two, we build the creative, the landing page, and paid acquisition system required to scale your brand profitably. Which one sounds better for the brand? First offer just sounds like a glorified freelancer, and the second sounds like an outcome. So you say how we're gonna scale, where you're going to get to, you just need to do that to increase the overall offer for your agency. So that positions you as more of a strategic growth partner instead of the person they blame when ROAS goes down. Because we all know this, that once ROAS starts going down, who do they blame? The media buyer. They don't take a look at the LP guy, they don't take a look at the CRO guy, they don't take a look at the email guy, they look at the media buyer, right? And it just pushes you into that, so then they're not blaming you when ROAS drops on a Monday or Tuesday. So a key thing that also changes is that it increases what you can charge. I went from charging $2,000 a month to literally on average charging $17,000 a month for our services. So now, you don't need a ridiculous number of clients to build a meaningful agency. So again, $2,000 per month, you need 25 clients to get to $50,000 a month. At $17,000 a month, I only need less than about 4 clients. So I don't need more media buyers, more account managers, right? Because if all 25 of your clients, when you're just doing media buying, slacks you just with a quick question, you're going to spend so much time doing quick questions all day. But when you combine the creative, LPs, and media buying, the value of the engagement increases. Right? The client also becomes more valuable because you're doing more meaningful work across the business, not because you added 17 random, deliverables to make the proposals look longer. And the big key thing here is that you don't need to bundle everything immediately, right? So I'm not telling you to add email, SEO, organic, social, influencer marketing, PR, and some sort of salsa dancing to your offer, right? You just need to get the core pieces of the system that you can put your neck out there and say, hey, this is what's going to drive you growth. It's going to be a 3-part approach, 2-part approach, that's it. Just get those core services and bundle those up. And all of the services will then support one another, right? And so what should I do next, Josh? What is my key, lottery numbers? You need to look at your current clients and ask, what problems am I being blamed for that I don't control? What happens before someone clicks the ad? What happens after they click? What additional capability would give us greater control over the result? And could these capabilities become one clear offer? Because you don't want to add services because you want to hire a retainer. You want to add services. This is key. You want to add services to produce the outcome you promised. So I want to close it here, right? If you're stuck as a small media buying agency, you probably don't need to become 10% better at adjusting budgets. Seriously. You just need to stop selling a commodity. You need to be able to control the message, to control the page, control the distribution. That's how you stop selling ads like a broke media buyer and start building an actual growth agency. If you liked this video, if you liked the things that I said, the frameworks and the concepts that I like to put out, subscribe. I'm also doing one-on-one calls it's just a quick 15-minute call. And, if there's something that we think we can help you out with, we'll put up an offer or something along those lines. But anyways, let me know if you guys learn from this, and peace out.